My name's Nicole Montoya Brown, and I'm a descendant of the indigenous people who lived in what's now known as New Mexico and Colorado, and the Spaniards that settled there in the late 1500s. And so that, as many of you probably know, was once Mexico. So because of that, my family had typically identified as Mexican American, Hispanic, Latino, what have you. And I was always fine with that. I always completely embraced that. However, I began to look at those terms differently when I went up to Standing Rock. And I'll explain why here in a little bit, because up in Standing Rock was the first time I was really confronted with what colonization really looks like. And I realized for the first time, I don't know my Indian ancestors' names. I know they're a part of me, but I don't know much about them. And I realized that I'd only ever heard from a European colonist point of view. So after that, I made it my mission to learn as much as I could from the indigenous point of view as I could. So I became heartbroken when I realized there's a reason I don't know my Indian ancestors' names. And I won't go into too much detail about that, but I will say this. My struggle with the terms Hispanic and Latino comes from two reasons. Number one, it typically stereotypes you as an immigrant or as an intruder more subtly. And I've never been able to relate to that because we're not immigrants. Two, the other reason is because it totally dismisses our indigenous heritage. It acknowledges one side of our heritage, but ignores the other. So my way of expressing that was by trying to put rhymes to my Indian ancestors' voices. This is my rhymes attempt to let them have their voice, let them have their say, let them have their presence. It's called Indigenous, in case you didn't know. Okay. Hispanic, his panic. Latina, Latinx, no. Indigenous, we are indigenous. Somos indígenas. History said the Spanish laid in bed happily wed my Indian ancestors. Made us mestizos, gringos y indios, mixed bloods, mixed races, Mexican faces from places today we call Colorado and New Mexico. They made us too colonized to realize that they were lies that hid these Indian eyes. They were lies that masked my ancestors' cries. Sorry, one moment, please. Thanks. They masked my ancestors' cries saying, we didn't mix with these colonist pricks, following their dicks, later calling us spics. Our bodies were raped. Our culture reshaped. Our babies enslaved. Our souls saved. Our sacred land, our sacred voices, our sacred songs, our sacred dances, our sacred beliefs, our sacred hopes, our sacred children, nearly erased. But we are here. 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 My Indian ancestors tell me, estamos aquí contigo. We are here with you. We did not die off because we are a part of you and you are a part of us, indigenous. Latino, you say? Immigrant, you say? Illegal, you say? No, fuck that. We were here on U.S. soil long before you traded your blood for oil, long before the U.S. became the U.S., before the U.S. became us, before we became the U.S. We are the U.S. The U.S. is us, indigenous. Thank you.